Hello guys, welcome back. I hope you are doing great. Let's go through Flowise AI again. I created the updated video about Langflow. Last video was about that, right? Many of you also use the Flowise, right? And I have already created a video about Flowise before. Please watch that video before and watch this one so that you know what is Flowise and what are we talking about here. I'm not going to go through from the beginning here. As you can see here, this is what the Flowise UI looks like. In this particular video, I will show you how you can embed the flow in your website, and next I will show you how you can use it as an API, and at the last I will show you how you can deploy Flowise using Replit. There are different ways how you can actually deploy it, but some of you ask questions related to Replit, so I thought this would be a good option to proceed. Let's get started. Okay, so as I said before, I'm not going through the beginning, right? But here is one example of the conversation agent. So I just took one of the template. If you go to this marketplace, there are different templates, and out of this template I just took this conversation agent one. I just took this template, but I already had my API keys here. So let me go here. I have my SORP API key as well as the chat openai API, meaning that openai API key. So for that API keys, you need to go to this platform.openai website and create the account and get the API keys. And for the SORP API, you need to go to this website called SORP API. So create an account here. And if you create the account, you will go to this dashboard and there is the API key for you. I'm showing you the API key because I'm going to regenerate this once I create this video. I have already grabbed these API keys. I'm using one calculator, meaning that I just took that template, so I haven't changed anything here. And there is the buffer memory and the conversation agent, right? So I have asked some question, but before this, you need to save this here, right? Always, many of you asked in the comment section that you get some error. I think the main reason for that is that you didn't save this flow, because you need to save. In the Langflow, it was automatically saved, but here you need to save this. First save this, go to this chat icon here. As you can see here, I have asked some questions here, right? It works here. So what we are going to do now is just click this code icon here. We are going to embed this in some random website. You can just copy this here. And if we go to the VS Code, what I have done here is created an index.html file. If I run this particular, if I say run open index.html, you can see that it is just a header, body and footer. There is nothing here, right? If I go to the VS Code again, and inside the body, right, it says we need to provide inside the body. So here is the body. And if I go somewhere here, let me say here, and if I paste the code that I just copied from Flowise UI, so if I just copied this, and the API host is the local host, right? And if I again run this index.html, now if you notice, there is the chat icon here. So we can just click this chat icon and ask the question here. So we can just ask the question, what is LangChain? Let us see if it provides the answer for us, because LangChain is introduced just recently and the OpenAI model does not have the information about LangChain, right? So it says LangChain is a software development framework designed to simplify the creation of applications using large language models. So as you can see, it is working, meaning that we are providing the internet access to this particular UI or flow. So it provides the information, recent informations, right? We can even ask many questions here. So what is Twitter? Let's see if it knows what is Twitter or something. It should know because the OpenAI model already knows what is Twitter, right? Okay, so it provides the information. I'm just showing you this because LangChain is recently introduced and it also provides the answer for us. And we can even ask the question related to calculator now, right? Okay, what is 25 times 4 in this case, right? So if we ask something related, it says 100. So this is the idea that I just wanted to show you, that you can embed this particular flow into your website and you can have a good looking chat icon sitting just in your website. So this is the embedding part, right? Now we are going to go and look the API part. We are using use as an API. For that also, let me copy this part. Let me copy the code. Let me again go to this VS Code and create a new file here. Let me give it test.py. Let me just paste here, right? So now we can run this. Let me close this and let me import the request first. Shift enter, and now it is going to open the interactive Jupyter environment here. Okay, import successful, and now I can just have the API URL. There is the API URL. Let me actually close this because I don't need this, and then I need to create a function here. So if I create the function, that is done. Now I can just ask some random question here. I can just say the same question I asked before. What is LangChain, right? So if I ask the question here, I can just pass this here. Now it is going through the same flow, right? But it is using the local host as an API. Okay, that is done. So now I can just print the output. So if I print the output, it says LangChain is a software development framework designed to simplify the creation of application using large language models. So now we can provide the new question also here. By the way, just to show you the answer at the same time, what I can do here is I can just print the response.json, and I can actually run this again. Okay, now I can just take this code, right, and then paste it here. But I just want to see if the memory part works here, right? Because we have the buffer memory and it should remember what we asked before, right? So I can say, can you provide more information? Okay, I just say, okay, can you provide more information? Let me see if it knows the previous question. So if I ask this, it should provide more information about LangChain, right? So okay, LangChain is a software development framework designed to simplify. It gave the same answer, but it knows that, okay, this is the question, but it didn't provide any answer. What if I ask the different question here? Let me go here and say, who is the creator of LangChain, right? So who is the creator of this framework, right? I haven't provided the name here. So if I ask this, let me run this again. Let's see if it provides the answer for us or not. Okay, the creator of LangChain is Harrison Chase. So as you can see here, it also has the memory part being preserved, right? If we go to our flow, and here we have this buffer memory. So memory key is here. So it should remember something that we asked before, right? So now if we go to our chat also, it provides the answer for us because there is nothing provided here related to the LangChain. So yeah, that is two parts here. So I just showed you the embedding part and the use as an API part, right? So next we are going to deploy this in the Replit. Okay, now let's go and deploy this using Replit. By the way, huge thank to the Flowise and all the contributors who are contributing to this project, because the documentation is quite clear to follow. You can just go here and just click some random links and all the information is provided to you. And one question, by the way, many of you actually asked me that when you run this Flowise, it asks the username and password, right? Because yeah, you can actually use this with the username and password to protect this particular flow. In the earlier video, I have just used this npx Flowise start because I'm not using any username and password. But if you run this particular command, it is going to use the username as well as the password, so it protects your flow. That is the difference. So now let's go and follow this Replit deployment part. We need to go into Replit first. So if you click this command, we are going to Replit and you need to create the account here, right? You can log into the account if you have already created the account. You can go to the sign up. I'm going to continue with GitHub. It asks me to provide the permission. I can say authorize Replit. So now it is going here and it is being authorized, right? The next thing is here, it says create a new REPL, select Node.js as the template and fill in the preferred title, right? We can go to this particular website, create a new REPL is here. We need to choose the Node.js, right? And we need to give the name. Let me give the name, yeah, Flowise AI, right? It is public. and we need to upgrade to make the private, so let's not go through that part now. And I can just create the REPL. It is going to take some time. I don't need to go through this. Here you can see there is index.js thing. We don't even need to go to this part here. Let me actually close this. So we have the sale here. So here is the Flowise AI, right? What we need to go here and then just do is, it says here, after a new REPL is created, switch to the sale tab. So now we are already on the sale tab, right? So now we need to just type npx install g Flowise. So let me copy this and let me go to the terminal and Control V. If you run enter, now it is going to install Flowise. It is going to take some time. I will be back once this is done. By the way, now it is still installing, and you can see the CPU and the RAM, there is showing some exclamation signs that there is a danger zone, because it is using almost all the free available resources. But you can just ignore this for now, and it will continue installing all the different things behind the scene. It is still showing you some of the things in the screen, so just leave it as it is, and it is going to install for us. But if you want to upgrade to get more resources, you can just click this upgrade to get more resources. But for the demonstration purpose, I'm not going to upgrade this here. But let me just open this for now, and you know that okay, something is happening behind the scene, right? Let's just wait when this is done. Now I will just show you the process here instead of just pausing the video. Let's wait how long it might take. I'm just showing you because if there is some error and when you are also installing, you know that this is okay, right? Because I saw most of you asking the questions in the installation part. So this is the normal behavior, just to show you this. As you can see here, once this is installing, the RAM is still using most of the part, and the storage is also being utilized, right? When this is installing, let me go to the Replit part. So what we need to do next is, as you can see here, this is what it is happening now, right? So then we need to just run the npx Flowise start to start the UI. Let me just copy this for now. So, and once this is done, then we will have the good looking UI part here. So, and the same thing also, if you want to provide the app level authorization, or if you want to protect your UI, you can use this Flowise username user and the password. Yeah, let me actually use this here. I will copy this one, so you also know that we can use this with username and password, right? So yeah, let me go and see here if it's still okay. It's still taking some time. Okay, now as you can see, it is all done, so we can just close this. Okay, now it is done. So what we can do is just npx Flowise start. And but by the way, as you can see here, when it was installing, it was showing the error, but now it is okay. Only 5% of the CPU is being used, and the RAM, let me see how much it is used, almost half, right? It is 254. So yeah, now let us just run this command here. It is going to provide us the UI of Flowise similar to what we used to run locally, right? So yeah, as you can see here, it is here and ready to share with the world. You can deploy this app, but we are not going to deploy. And this is what I'm saying. Most of you asked, it provides the username and password. Yeah, that is why it is providing us, right? So what was the username and password we used? We used user and 1234. By the way, just change this whatever you want, right? For just the demonstration, I'm using user and 1234. User, and in the password, I can just say 1234, right? So if I do login, so yeah, now I'm inside it. So you can see, change your password, it says here, because this is just the random password, right? I can say okay, never, and yeah, this is the UI chat flow we have here, similar to what we used to have in our local host, right? Okay, so now let me actually make this little bit bigger here, right? So this is the same UI, right? You can make the dark mode and the light mode, and in the settings also there is all the different things. And if you click this icon here, you can go to the marketplace. This is all the same things that we had before. And if you go back to the settings, you can now load the database, export the database, and all the different things, right? So let me go to the chat flow part, and now we can add new things. But what I would like to do is go back to our flow and just download this, so that you know that we can use the same flow in different places. So if I go to this particular link here, we can export the chat flow. So I'm going to export this, and the name is conversational chain underscore chat flow. and it is on the downloads. Let me save this, and now I can go to the REPL, and here I can just add new. So here it says add new, but what I can do here is go here and the load the chat flow, and I can use this chat open, and yeah, here is the same chat flow we had locally running, right? So what we can do now is first save this one, and you can give some name. Let me give just test for this now, and if I save this, it's fine. And as you can see here, there is this chat icon here, so I can just open this and I can ask the same question here, what is LangChain, right? So if I provide the question, okay, it says SORP API key not set, you need to set. So it's okay, because I didn't actually save the SORP API keys and the openai API keys, so I need to provide the key again. So as you can see here, this is the place where I can get the API keys. I have already created, but I didn't. Okay, I need to go back to this flow, and I can get the, I can copy this one, and let me go here, openai, Control V. I can go to this SORP API, Control C. I can do Control V, and all the things are the same. I can save this now. Okay, it is saved, right? So what we can do is go to this chat icon here and ask the same question now. Okay, what is LangChain, right? So if I enter this, okay, it says request status 401 and body invalid request, param null code invalid API key. So yeah, I need to actually go and take the API key. Okay, I will show you the process now, no problem. So you need to go here and create new key, create key. I will actually revoke this, so don't ask me to change this in the comment section. I will go and revoke this anyway. So I can go here, Control V, right? And then I need to go to the SORP API part. Just copy this key, go back to the Flowise, and I can go to the SORP API, Control V, right? So this is all provided here, and I can save this. It should work. If I go to this chat icon here, and if I say hi first, it is going to work. Yeah, it says hello, right? I can now say what is LangChain, right? So if I say LangChain, it is going to provide the answer for us. Let's see. Okay, LangChain is a software framework, right? Now we can use this. If you go to this icon again, so you can embed this now, but instead of running this locally, now we have deployed this in the Replit, right? What you can do is follow the same thing that we did before. You can just embed this in your website, or you can this in the as a Python API also. Just to show you it works, we can just copy this, go to our VS Code, and here I will restart this first. And now if I go down here, I can just paste the things here, right? We will just go here and import all these things, shift enter. Okay, now I can ask the question here, whatever question you want. You can just say what is LangChain, right? Just to show you that it works. If I just run this, it is going to provide some answer, and I can output something. So I can just output the output here. So yeah, it provides the answer. LangChain is a software development framework, right? It works. That is all what I want to show you here. First, I showed you how you can embed this in your website, and you can also use as an API. And then we went, and this is where I am actually deploying the Flowise, right? So what if you want to cancel this now? Let me go back here, and this is the Flowise, right? So if you now cancel this, and let me make this little bit bigger. If you can see here, whatever we were doing in the UI, all the things are being shown also here. Okay, it is using the SORP API tools and all the different things. So if you want to cancel this locally, what you can do is just go and cancel, right? Just let's first go and cancel this locally. So if you want to cancel this locally, I am just running this from the terminal, just to show you that, okay, here is what I'm running. It is just running here, right? I can just go here and do Control C, and it is sorting the Flowise. And now if I go to the browser, and this is what it is running, if I refresh this, and it is not going to work now because I just canceled this, right? But now we have actually deployed it in the Replit, right? We need to also cancel here. You can just go here and do Control C. So this is sorting down, right? Now if you just want to run this again, you can just go here and press the same command here. You want to delete this project, you can just go to this home page. There is my REPL, and you can see there is Flowise, there is test and all the different things I used before, but this is the Flowise that we use, right? So you can just go here and then delete this. So yes, delete this REPL and it is going to be deleted. Okay, that's all I want to show you in this video using the Flowise with my previous video. And with this particular video, I hope now you know how to embed it, how to use as an API, and also deploy in Replit. And you can actually follow the documentation to deploy in different platforms. Yeah, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.